Good morning, everyone. And Beyond Productions. I am going to be facilitating this webinar for Rebecca Hogwriter of Rebecca Hogwriter Media Productions. And this morning's webinar is for experts and influencers. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Rebecca Hogwriter. She is technical. Give me 1 second, and I probably will edit this out, Rebecca. I forgot to pull your intro up. I'll do the editing. So it's my pleasure to introduce Rebecca Hogwriter. Rebecca Hogwriter is a global influencer, #1 international best-selling author, international speaker, compiler, and publisher, helping over 800 plus authors become bestsellers. Radio show host of 2 different weekly programs, reaching over 1 million listeners on 12 different networks, and an empowerment leader that wants to help you reach more people. She has built multiple platforms to help experts reach more people. These platforms include radio, TV, books, magazines, the speaker talent search, and live events, creating a powerful promotional reach of over 10 million. Rebecca is the CEO of RHG Media Productions, which includes the RHG TV network. She is the owner of Your Purpose-Driven Practice and the creator of the Speaker Talent Search. Rebecca has personally contributed to 30 published books, multiple magazines, and has been quoted in major media: the Huffington Post, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, On Point Global News, and Thrive Global, and now helps experts get quoted in major media too. She wants to help you be seen, heard, and shine. Today, as she leads the Experts and Influencer Summit, we are looking forward to helping you move purposely and powerfully forward. Rebecca, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Yay. I like that. I see clapping. Thank you. I'm imagining everybody is welcoming me to the stage. I love that, that energy, Maria. Thank you so much for your beautiful introduction. I just so appreciate that and your support and helping facilitate everything today. So we couldn't do it without you. Thank you for all that you're doing to help us today. I appreciate it. So for those of you who may be sending messages throughout our time together today, for those of you who will be supporting us and connecting with us today and watching, if you want to communicate, Maria is going to be the one that will take those questions and make sure we get them so that we can include you as part of the conversation. So welcome, everybody. I'm just thrilled and honored to have you joining us for the Expert and Influencer Summit. Today, our goal is to help you move powerfully and purposely forward. We have a powerful lineup of amazing experts that have felt this common heartbeat to come together and support you to move forward on purpose. And there's just something when we have a group of people that have this common heartbeat, this calling. There's something magical that gets created beyond what any one of us could create. But when we come together synergistically, combine our gifts and our talents and our wisdom, magic happens. And so I'm really excited to see what will unfold during our conversation today. And you are an important part of that. So welcome. We are thrilled to have you. I'm going to run through just a couple of logistical things with you. So just a little bit of an orientation. So we all are on the same page and you're able to get the most out of the experience today. So 1, I encourage you to be fully present. Choose to be here. Take a breath. We actually did that collectively before we even started our time together. We did that behind the scenes. And I think it's important to remember to breathe. It's important to remember to choose to be present. One of the things I have learned and discovered and gotten to relearn is I am actually able to go forward faster when I choose to slow down, to be mindful, to be purposeful, to be present. I want to invite you today, choose to be present, choose to be open and be poured into, because this time is for you. And it's not an accident. You didn't just accidentally join us. There is a reason and a purpose that you're here for. So be open to receiving that. Be open to being poured into and all that is being called to come forward, because we're tapping into that too. We have a plan. We know what we're going to be talking about, but we're open to how we're being led so that we can serve you on the highest level. So tap into that. Know that we're here for you. Have a piece of paper, a notepad, something that you can take notes on, because not only are we going to be sharing great things we want you to know about and our contact information, which we want to make sure you capture, but two, I want you to capture those insights that bubble up from within you. You're going to have time after each of our shares to be able to process, to take it in and listen to what is speaking to you, so that you can really breathe in and integrate all that serves, all that supports you. So be open to that and allow yourself that time and that space to be able to do that. And when you write it down, there's a direct connection to your hand and your heart when you do that, and you're bringing it forward. So allow the process, really be willing to go deep. Also, we're recording. So if there's a segment you want to listen to again or you want to share with a friend, be open to doing that. That's why we have the replay. We want to make sure it continues to serve and support all of you. So no, all of those tools are here to support you. And Maria, our amazing tech expert, and the screen that is purple, you will see that she has a QR code. So if you haven't had an opportunity to get a copy of the book that we're going to be featuring today, Expert Influencers Move Forward with Purpose, you're able to put your phone over the QR code and it'll take you directly to the Amazon page where you're able to get a copy, or you can go directly to Amazon and get a copy. So nobody's excluded. We're going to let you know which. Thank you. I got a thumbs up from our panel here. So this is fabulous. We want to make sure that you're able to connect and have all the tools and resources that we're going to talk about today, and nobody's left out. And to support you, for those of you who do have the book, and you're following along, that's what happens at our live events or in-person events. Sometimes we'll have people flipping through the book each time that author and that expert is speaking. So if you're doing that, I will be letting you know which page their chapter starts on, so you can follow along. You can fold the page if you want to connect and go deeper, and their contact information is also in the book. So just a couple of things to support you in our experience today. Again, I want to thank you for leaning in, saying yes, and joining us. Looking forward to all that will unfold. And one of the things I have been thinking about as I was getting ready for today, I always like to feel in and say, is there something that is being called forth to share? Is there something on my heart that I have learned recently that I can share? And perhaps that will share some, serve and support somebody who's connected and leaning in. And I had one of those moments bubble up. So I wanted to start our time together doing a share. And I hope that this connects with you, serves with you, and really sets the stage for our conversation today. So again, we are featuring authors from the international best-selling book, Experts and Influencers Move Forward with Purpose. And the heartbeat, that's a heartbeat with the colors fanning out that you see on, I have to figure out which side on the cover there, that you'll see the heartbeat. So picture that beat and that motion. And when I think about hearts, I've been thinking about energy and how we all have an opportunity to send vibrations out. And whether we know it or not, we are different frequencies, different messages, different things that are getting amplified out each beat of our heart. So what are we echoing out? What are we choosing to share out? Because we're echoing things out. Are we doing so mindfully and purposely and in alignment? During our conversation today, what I'm hoping will happen is that you're going to be supported to write down a couple of new ways that you can stretch, tap in deeper to what you're called to bring forward, and share it out a little bit more, heartbeat by heartbeat, because we get to be the change we're wanting to see. We get to bring that forward. It's not something outside of us, it's something within us. So here's what I've been learning as I've reflected on all of these things. I've been exploring crystals. So I don't know if anyone is familiar with crystals, but they come in all different shapes and sizes and textures. Some you can see through, some are more solid. They have different kind of frequencies when they've been measured. They all vibrate a little bit differently. And as I learned about this, I became fascinated how they interacted, how they worked. What does the frequency mean? How does it connect? And I'm going deeper and deeper. And then I started to notice some crystals have wounds, chips, fractures. Sometimes they're internal, like this one, you can see some, cloudiness and shapes, and there's some internal fractures that are in it. And I looked at that and it kind of made me a little bit sad that, oh, this beautiful crystal took millions of years to come to be, and now it's got this wound, it's got this fracture in it, and sometimes they'll even shatter. And I started to look into that, and what does that mean, and why does that happen, and why is it happening for such a time as this, millions of years, and this is the time it's shifted, it's changed shapes. And what I learned was changes my perspective on how I look at crystals and how I look at those wounds or those fractures or those breaks. So they say that when a crystal shatters, just shatters, that it actually stood in place of protection, that it took that hit, chose to, on purpose, take that hit and protect, and it is complete. Now it's moving into another form and shape. And I thought, well, that's a different perspective. That feels more powerful and less sadness with that. And then I said, well, what about these chips and these fractures? And what I learned is there's actually a term called warrior crystals. And you can look that up on Google if you're curious, warrior crystals. And a warrior crystal is one that has a wound. It has these fractures. It has these breaks. Sometimes it'll break into two pieces. But when it does that, it changes vibration, it changes frequency, it has more surfaces that it can reflect off of and serve. If it breaks in 2 or 3 pieces, it can now serve in these different places. When it internally has more of these fractures and things inside, it can reflect light more powerfully. And it can serve in more planes than it did before. And I thought, how amazing that is. What a different way to look at those wounds or those scars or those challenges we have faced that have dramatically shaped us and changed our shape. And it takes great pressure to make these shifts and make these changes. And now this crystal is seasoned, it's experienced, it can stand with me and beside me in a way that one without that shape, without that fracture, wouldn't be equipped to. And I think we have gone through a time where we have had major pressures and shifts around us. We have had wounds and chips, we have had losses. If we look back over the last year and a half, 2 years, there's a lot that we have gone through. And I want us to make sure that we are looking at it with a lens that we are warrior crystals, that we are here, that we now have been shifted and we have an opportunity to serve in more ways. We have more facets that are being revealed. We're discovering new strengths. And a lot of that we don't know until we're under great pressure. And we may change, we may move locations. A lot of people are moving. And I look at that as, oh, our warrior crystals, our leaders, our experts are now moving where they can serve in another place. And we're still connected. None of that goes away. We're still connected, and we have an opportunity to serve in all of these different places and now in all of these new shapes and ways that we're being created. So I want you to listen today as each of our experts share from the heart, and they're sharing what they've discovered, what they have learned, and some of it under great pressure. And some of it causes wounds, causes new shapes. But guess what? That makes us equipped in a way we were not before to be able to serve at a higher level, to reflect out in a bigger way, to reach more people. I want to encourage you to listen for those gems to support you to be able to bring forward all that you are called to bring forward in our conversation today. And the next time you see a crystal that has a chip, I want you to remember that's a special reminder for you that you are beautifully, wonderfully made. We are changing our shapes and our designs and how we serve continually. And that's an opportunity for new parts of you to be revealed that are growing and share out and impact the world. Take a moment, breathe that in. Close your eyes so you're connecting in. I promise you're safe. And I encourage you to put both hands on your heart because we're talking about tapping into your heart. When I'm at an in-person event, I always tease that I keep my eyes open so I can see who's not closing their eyes. But today I'm going to join you, all of us closing your eyes. And that's just so you can go internally and not be distracted by anything visually. And breathe deeply in through your nose, out through your mouth like through a straw. Wonderful. Great. And as you're continuing to breathe, just want you to think about what it is that you need today. Why are you here? What do you feel pulling at your heart that you're looking to discover, to know? Or maybe a reminder is bubbling up. Sometimes we're moving so fast, we can't hear that still, quiet, important voice and message. Take a moment and feel in and see what is it you need today to support you and empower you. And I'm going to add in that you are willing to receive because you have choice. So, what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Beautiful. Receive that information. Let's go ahead and open up our eyes, take a breath, become fully present. Wonderful. And take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart. Sometimes we can forget. So take a moment, write down what was laid on your heart and your spirit. I was doing an interview recently where we were talking about ways that we can grow, ways that we can align with our purpose and our business and stay in balance with all of that. And one of the things that came up a few times from the experts, they kept sharing, be open. Don't be so stubborn. Be open and willing to learn. And when you discover there's something that you have an area to grow in, that's not something to criticize ourselves about or view as a failure or negatively. We should be looking at, wow, there's an opportunity. There's an area I can grow. There's something I can get some support in and move forward. I don't have to figure it out all on my own. And I think that's an important reminder. And part of our exercise of going in and seeing what it is that you need and are willing to receive, because there's that choice. Sometimes it'll shift what we think we need because there is a willingness. And sometimes we'll have some boundaries around that. So it's good to know what those are and if those are there. And then what we didn't have you feel into is how, because you get to be surprised by how and let that unfold. Discover unexpected ways you never saw coming that you get supported in bringing your message forward and bringing your impact forward, heartbeat by heartbeat, bringing forward what it is that you need. Be on the lookout for a surprising, unexpected way you get supported on that journey. So have that paper and pen ready. Remember to glance down periodically at your paper so that you're keeping top of mind what it is that you need. And we're hoping to support you as we continue our journey along together. Now, some additional logistics. So if you are watching us live, we'd love to hear from you. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can put a comment in the feed. If you're watching us via the Zoom link, you can enter it in the chat box. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm not sure how to have us connect. I will have Maria share with us later if there's a way to connect and ask questions there. If you are watching the replay, we're going to share all the contact information so you can reach out to us. We really do want to connect with you. We're here to support you. And every person you're going to hear from today will be sharing warmly the best ways you can connect with them. That's real. So lean in, don't be shy, take advantage of that, and know that we can support you in an ongoing way. But those of you who are live, here's an opportunity real time to send in questions or comments or information. We just love to hear from you. So with that, I am super excited to introduce our first amazing guest. I'm just going to switch my notes here. And I love each of the authors I'm going to be introducing today. And just as I'm getting ready to introduce each of them one by one, we're going to be interviewing them. I just felt this great love and appreciation for each of you that are leaning in to serve all of our viewers today, that you've leaned in to be part of this project as the compiler, the leader of this particular project and summit. It's such an honor to be entrusted with someone's message and their wisdom and to have the opportunity to share it out in the world. And I just felt that so deeply in my heart. It had me pause for a moment and wanted to share that with all of you. And I just appreciate each and every one of you and can't wait for what you'll be sharing and bringing forward. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being part of this project and for sharing from your hearts. And with that, I'm going to get started. We're going in the order that you'll see their chapters in the book. So our first amazing guest, her chapter starts on page 11, and it's a co-author chapter. So two amazing experts have brought this chapter together called Caregiving for Yourself and Others. And Wendy K Benson is representing both amazing co-authors that created this chapter today. And I'm just going to share a little bit about her. So Wendy K Benson is a healthcare executive, occupational therapist, and partner at 2x2 Health, a private health concierge. She is a co-author of the international best-selling book, The Confident Patient. She is a speaker and a faculty member of the Department of Health Science Systems Management at Rush University Services and on the admissions committee as a faculty advisor at Rush University. She's been recognized an expert in major media, including ABC, WGN, and the Windy City Life. Is that correct?
Windy City Live.
Mm-hmm. Windy City Live. Thank
live.
you. Make sure I'm live. I'm being accurate there. Beautiful. And she is passionate about mentoring emerging healthcare leaders and for you to be able to be confident in how you navigate the healthcare systems. So please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful Wendy Benson to the stage. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's such a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled to have you joining us. And I'm curious about why you have done so much in this particular arena, your help raising up next generations, really empowering people in how healthcare is being approached and how people are navigating that in an empowered way. Can you share why that work is personally so important to you?
Absolutely. When I was in my early 20s, as a young occupational therapist, my mother became terminally ill. And so having some healthcare experience, but also understanding what it feels like to be a loved one of someone going through something so significant made a big impact on me. And so I think that really thinking through how we can support those that are going through a healthcare crisis, how we can empower them and educate them so that they can really feel that sense of control and know that there's a lot that they can do to partner with their medical team to move forward.
Thank you for sharing. And I appreciate you have such deep care and understanding. And one of the things I have always appreciated about you in every interaction is you have you're always very present and you have a curiosity. You always go deeper and how can we support? How can we make this better? And you bring that to everything you do. And I think that's a really powerful gift. And I also see that when things don't go according to plan, because that happens sometimes, there's always this going deeper and how can we make it better and a win for everyone. And I love that the experience that you had has brought such care and support to this space in the world. And it is just so needed. So thank you for the work that you do, who you are, how you are in the world, and supporting and sharing with all of us. And I wanted to, there's so many things on your plate, so many things that you can choose from. And yet this was a project that called to you and you leaned into and said yes to. Can you share why it called to you and what's been one of your favorite parts of how it's unfolded?
The very theme of this moving forward, and moving upward, it's so important in so many components of what we do. But I think that working in the space of healthcare, it's just really something that we can take ownership of and really move forward with. And so I thought this would be a neat opportunity to educate at an even broader audience steps that we can do to not only take care of our loved ones, which is really important, but also how to take care of ourselves. And so really drew Beth and I into this and wanting to contribute in that way. My favorite part of it, in addition to sharing the exciting information, is collaborating with this incredible group of co-authors that you see on your screen. It's just inspirational to be around that type of energy and enthusiasm and people who really care and want to share their message with the world.
Thank you for sharing that. It's such a special group coming together. And when we do come together, we inspire each other and we lift each other up. So I'm glad that's been one of your favorite experiences. And when we look at the chapter that you created, I'd love for you to give the full title of the chapter and what you're hoping readers will get out of it.
Absolutely. So the title of the chapter is Caregiving for Yourself and Others, Finding the Confidence to Move Upward and Forward. And what we really hope people take away is a compassion for themselves and then really steps to take to not only care for your loved ones, which is really important, like I said, but also caring for yourself. We want people to be able to feel that what they're doing is enough, but then there's also some concrete steps that one can take, ideas that you can implement immediately that might make a difference in terms of taking care of yourself.
Beautiful. And did you get a chance? And I love that your chapter leads, because we can forget to take care of ourselves. We can start to just run on empty, especially with all the things that are pulling at us. So I love that you take such a stand for that and how you talk about it in your chapter. And I'd love for you to, if you have a reading or if you want to give a little taste, I'd love for you to share.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Thank you, Rebecca. The beginning of the chapter really talks about how we can very much view ourselves as, there's a tree on our street that twists and turns, and really how we can really view how we ourselves need to take care of ourselves before we can provide shade or provide shelter, that type of thing. So if the tree does not get enough water, sunlight, or nourishment, it will not be able to survive. When a tree experiences a drought, its leaves turn brown and the roots start to erode. Without a viable, healthy tree, there would not be shelter for the animals, and there'd be considerably less shade on our street. When caregiving for others, it is important to pay attention to our own needs first. It is not selfish to take the time and energy to care for yourself. Quite the opposite. Caring for yourself is absolutely essential. If you are compromised by physical or emotional setbacks, you will simply not be capable of caring for others. Take a moment to focus on you and what sustains you right now. Each of us is unique. Each of us has our own set of preferences and needs. What are specific activities that help you feel energized, healthy, and supported? Do you need to schedule some time on your own, or do you prefer to have a walk and talk with a friend? Are there medical screenings and appointments that you've been putting off? What are some projects or events that you look forward to? Do you have a plan to include activities that encourage you on a regular basis? Schedule a reoccurring time block on your calendar to take care of important tasks that keep you healthy and productive. This perspective is yours and yours alone. Consider what bolsters you, what gives you strength. Then take time to prioritize activities that are in alignment with you and your specific needs. Taking care of yourself helps you achieve the various healthiest version of yourself. And the strongest version of yourself is more resilient, providing you an enhanced ability and greater bandwidth to better care for others in your life.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I even like how you twist and turn as you were sharing the movement of that, so we could visualize along with you your tree and some of what it's taught you and reflected back to you, and that importance of scheduling it and making it a priority, because it's so easy. I'll get to it later versus really building it in. So thank you for sharing just great wisdom, insight, and it gives us a taste of your chapter and an experience of it. And I'm curious, as you reflect on our conversation so far, is there a piece of advice, a tip in addition to what you shared in the chapter that you would like to remind our listeners about, especially as we're looking at moving forward on purpose and with that impact?
I think that one of the most important things for us to incorporate into our daily mindset is gratitude. I think that when we really focus on things that we are grateful for in our lives, it can make a huge difference, both physically and emotionally. So I think that that can make a really big difference. And that's something that I try to incorporate regularly.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Gratitude. And for those who are looking to add some tools to their toolbox, do you have a way they could start incorporating gratitude into their life, start to build that practice? Like the great tip about scheduling and making those appointments and self-care things. How do you yourself do it? Or is there a suggestion you can make to our viewers?
I know some people like to do almost everything electronically. So I know that there are some that do that. I'm still a pen and paper girl. So a gratitude journal works really well for me. But even if I'm going for a walk and I don't have my pen and paper with me, just really, really focusing on the things that are happening at that moment that I can be grateful for really make a big difference.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I know when I'm feeling grateful and thankful, it shifts, the feelings shift. Or if I purposely choose for something to be grateful for in that moment, I can feel that shift, and it feels good to be grateful versus some of those other feelings sometimes. So I love that we can build that in as a way to navigate our day and how we look at things. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful.
Pleasure.
And I was curious, what sort of project, because we know you are a #1 international bestselling author. You have your powerful book, The Confident Patient, that you have participated in multiple book projects as co-author. Would love for you to share. There's some additional things that you are working on, or projects or resources you'd like our viewers to know about.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rebecca. So The Confident Patient, the book that Beth and I wrote, was released in 2019. Clearly, a lot of things have changed since 2019. And so we decided to launch a video series. So it's on our website, 2by2health.com. And what we do is, as well as Facebook, and what we do is have real-time interactions with medical professionals across the country. Things were changing so quickly with the pandemic. We decided that a video series made the most sense in the short term when we were interacting with pediatric surgeons, psychiatrists, dietitians about things that we could do right now to really influence and enhance our health and well-being. And that's instead of, the book is The Confident Patient, this is The Confident Patient in a New World, showing that it's information in addition to the book. The book still stands, but there are things now that need to be, just things that needed to be added based on the current information that was happening with the pandemic.
No, it's great. I love that. And so they're getting breaking news on how things are working in the industry and what to be aware of because things are changing so fast. So I love that you've created that. And then they can find that on your website, which is
Yes.
fabulous.
Mhm.
And YouTube, you mentioned as well, or
As Facebook as well.
Facebook as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Facebook as well. They can stay connected and watch that. And is it play on demand, live, both?
So on our website, it's on demand. Facebook,
Mhm.
it's under our 2x2 Health account.
Okay. Perfect. Great. So wonderful. Excited that you have that series going and available. And I would love for you to share what are the best ways for people who want to go deeper, connect on a deeper level. What is the best way for them to do that?
So our website's the best way. It's www.x2health.com. So 2x2health.com.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate you sharing and joining us today. And it looks like I just got a message. Let me check from my tech team here. We don't have any questions yet, but we'll go ahead and give the audience a moment. I want you to think about what Wendy has shared. And is there something that right now you can be grateful for? Just starting to ask that question. Perhaps make that note of carving out time, build it into your schedule where you're doing some of those self-care things for you so that you can really shine some of those great notes and practices. And one of my takeaways is also to continue to observe what's around me and what are those lessons, like you've observed the tree and what you have seen it do through the seasons and grow, really paying attention to things like that in my life that can pour into me. So I think those are some great tips that you shared with us today. And again, you can find their beautiful chapter, Caregiving for Yourself and Others, starting on page 11 of the book. So that's again, I just want to encourage anyone, if you have a question or comment, we'd love to have you participate and include in the conversation. Wendy, thank you so much for your beautiful share. I appreciate it. And as we get ready to transition to our next guest, I wanted to share a couple of things about the book. So as you see the images, I'm getting used to the technology images here of the book. It's broken into several segments, and I just wanted to run through that a little bit with you so you get a feel as we're going through the order of the speakers, some of the different ways things are organized in the book. So we have 3 sections, and the first one talks about connecting more deeply with you and your purpose. The second section talks about moving forward with purpose and impact. So after you've connected with yourself, then we're moving forward. And then section 3 is reflection for the journey. So it's designed as a poetry section to support you in going deeper, reflecting on the journey, taking in that information that can serve and support you. And I feel like Wendy just gave such a beautiful illustration of that as she was talking about the tree and what she's seen, and even in her daily life, building in that habit of gratitude. Really, really powerful things we're already adding to her toolbox. So I'm excited to introduce. Oh, actually, there's one more piece. I just saw a note on this that also there is a companion journal. So we're talking about writing things down. So for those of you who like to write things down and with paper and pen or pencil or crayons, however you like to write things down, there is a companion journal that has the same look of the cover, but it says journal. And there's some prompts in there that can support you in reflecting and going deeper. And there's a lot of open space so that you can really hear what is coming to you. There's even space where you could draw if there's an image or capture a tree that reminded you, or a crystal, something that visually you're wanting to capture. It gives you room to do that. And you can find all of those on Amazon.com, and you can either look it up by my name, Rebecca Hogreiter, or Experts and Influencers Move Forward with Purpose. But we have those tools there to support you. And we are in the middle of completing the Audible version. So for those of you who like Audible experience, that is coming up. And many of the authors have recorded in their own voices. So we have this beautiful mixture that is being put together and will be released soon. And that will be announced on Amazon and such. So just things to be aware of and thinking about as you're finding things to pour into you, because that's really important on the journey. So I am excited to introduce our next amazing guest. I hope you are all leaning in and excited as well. And I just love my people. I love all of you. So excited. So, Ariel Asher, I'm just thrilled and excited to have you joining us today. And you have helped us run summits, and you have been part of many projects that we've been in together. And you're leading beautiful projects as well, have an award-winning show. Just there's so many things about you that are amazing, and just thrilled to have you joining us today. I'm going to make sure I read the bio so I don't skip key things. But just from my heart, thank you for being here and sharing and bringing your beautiful energy to us today. Absolutely. So Ariel Asher is a #1 best-selling author multiple times over, a holistic educator, empowerment leader, and voice presence coach. She's the founder, producer, and host of the award-winning Healing Body, Mind, and Soul podcast and Voice America TV show. It has received 3 Communicator Awards of distinction so far from the Academy of Interactive Visual Arts. And she is passionate about raising the consciousness of the planet, one soul at a time. Please lean in and warmly welcome the dynamic and powerful Ariel Asher. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. You're always so great. You're the best introduction giver ever.
Aw. Well, you guys all make it easy. So I'm just thrilled to have you joining us. Welcome, welcome. I want to make sure I let everybody know who's following along in the book. You can find Ariel's beautiful chapter, Waking Up to My Purpose, and it starts on page 21 in the book for those of you who are following along. Ariel.
Actually, Rebecca, that's not the title of my chapter. And that's kind of interesting because I received a document that said that as well. The title of my chapter is The Tale of a Happy Medium.
Beautiful. I had that as the second part. So thank you for correcting.
Sorry. Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't know where that other thing came from. I saw that flying around somewhere. So
yeah, no worries. So give the official name of your chapter again, so we all got it right.
It's called The Tale of a Happy Medium.
Beautiful. Tale of a Happy Medium. Beautiful. Great. And where I'd like to start the conversation, so I'm excited to get into the chapter, but I always like to start with your why. So why is the work that you do in all these different ways, this passion to help, and you do it in so many different exquisite ways with so many different modalities, helping people one soul at a time? Why is that work so important to you, raising the consciousness of the planet? Why is that important to you?
Well, I have been a holistic healer and a metaphysical teacher for about 30 years now. And I'm hooked on writing now, Rebecca. I really this is my 4th anthology with you, and I compiled a book that came out this year with you. I'm hooked on writing because I just really feel it's the best way for leaders to get their messages out in the world. And there's something about being a published author that really brings people's messages forward in a different way than, for years I've been a speaker and have been supporting speakers. I teach public speaking, but there's something different about publishing. It brings it into a whole new level that is really exciting to watch people flourish in.
I love that. It is. There's something really special and magical about it. So I love that you're hooked on it and are doing that in such a powerful way. So I love that. And then with all the projects, all the different things that you do, and choosing what you have on your plate, and you're saying yes to this project called to you. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about why, what about it called to you, and what's been your favorite part of it?
Well, definitely writing is my favorite part. I'm an avid journaler and always have been. I'm a meditator and journaler as part of the healing work that I do as part of my own self-care practice. My favorite part is definitely the writing because it just really comes through me. It amazes me sometimes how articulate it comes out. I'm like, who said that? But yeah, the why is because it's time for me to bring my message forward. This particular chapter, I'm a psychic medium. I'm an empathic healer and body worker, psychic medium. And really, it was the cover that called me, Rebecca. I was bringing forth my own book and I was toying around with cover ideas. And this heart image kept coming to me and coming to me. And you emailed me an opportunity for this book. And I'm like, that's interesting. The word purpose and that heart imagery was there for me. And I'm like, I would be a fool not to jump into that because I was getting, which is exactly what my chapter is about, is following your own internal guidance and your own intuition as a business practice and as a self-care, self-healing practice to really get in alignment with that. So, to be in good integrity with the work that I preach about, I jumped in with 2 feet, Rebecca. That heart it was very specific about the colors and the imagery and the word purpose. So
Oh, I love
that's
that.
why I couldn't not do it.
I love that. I love it. I love how it called and resonated, and you even knew that something around that was coming and followed it, leaned in, walking the talk. Exactly. So I love that you did that. And now as part of it and everything has been unfolding around it, is there something that's like, as you look back on the journey or you're looking ahead, is there something that's been kind of your favorite part of it?
Well, it's definitely the writing, as I said, Rebecca. I really relish the moments when I sit down and I've heard a lot of writers say that they hate the empty page. I love it. I look at the empty page and all of a sudden I go, okay, what's coming up? What do I need to say? And it keeps me on task in my business, publishing in this way. It keeps me drawing forward and the message that I'm bringing forward. All my chapters, all the books have been different subject matter, which I see are all brilliantly aligned with my speaking points and the talks that I give. So my favorite part is just the writing and the creative aspect of it, I'll say.
Beautiful. I love that because that's not everyone's experience. So I love that
page
you get
turns me on.
excited.
Yeah.
I love knowing
I
that
also
about
like
you.
public speaking, and I've been told that's also very unusual. So I go with those strengths.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And as you think about your chapter, what are some of the things that you're hoping people gain from it or learn, or as reading it, there's a shift that happens for them? What is that for you?
My chapter is about the shift that is happening and the awakening that is happening on the planet, the frequencies that are rising, and the sort of trial by fire everybody is going through. I didn't know what I wanted to call it there, but in new age or metaphysical terms, we might say there's a great ascension happening, this great awakening happening, which is super exciting. And the flip side of that is it's super terrifying. Nobody likes change, right? And I want the readers to really know that as they're awakening and their consciousness is sort of ascending as these frequencies come onto the planet, that they're not alone and they're not crazy. Like the things that they're seeing and experiencing, feeling, they're real things, and maybe they haven't been paying attention to them before. And now they can no longer go on in these unconscious ways. You have to bring consciousness to these things. So I just hope that people know, like Wendy said, she's such an advocate for patients. I'm an advocate for mental, emotional, and spiritual health for sure, because I think that people need more support at this time. They need more support.
Absolutely. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I think, and we have to remember to, I think, give support to others and grace to others, but to ourselves too. In that, sometimes we're really good at one or the other, and I think it's important to remember both. So I love that, and letting people know that they're not alone in this awakening, and the things that are happening is so important, because we can start to wonder and question and get isolated. And I love that you're taking that stand for all of us in that space. Really powerful. And I didn't know if you had a sample reading, if you wanted to give people a taste, or if you want to describe a little bit of what they can discover, look forward to in your chapter.
Sure. I'm just going to read. I'm going to skip around a little bit because I want to condense and be brief. I'll read just a little here. The world is going through a mass shift in consciousness. People are waking up to themselves. People are waking up to the world. It's probably the most exciting time on the planet of all times. It's amazing, right? So what's the downside? Well, the downside is that we're waking up to ourselves and we're waking up to the world, right? I'm sharing pieces of my own story with you in my chapter so that if you feel the intensity of these changing times, please know that you're not alone. Whether you feel the influences internally in the form of stress or tension, or whether you are being emotionally triggered by circumstances of the outside world that are just beyond your control, to let you know that you're not going crazy. You may be experiencing symptoms of ascension. For anyone who's not familiar with this sort of terminology, I liken it to what mystics have called a spiritual awakening. And the process includes all kinds of physical, mental, and emotional symptoms as the body adjusts to changing frequencies internally and externally. I hope that I can assist you and be available to you to navigate your own awakening process as you embrace your own intuitive sensitivities to the changing energies of our times. I'll just leave it at that.
Beautiful. I'm giving it a moment. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you for providing that support for us and that awareness, so that again, we know we're not alone. And this new maybe lens that these are exciting times.
Yeah.
And changing times, and that can be a positive, good thing, even if we can be a little bit shy or resistant to change. And this awakening is so powerful that we get to be part of. I love that. So as you reflect on our conversation so far today and your chapter, and even as you're getting ready for time together today, is there something on your heart, a tip, a piece of advice that you want to give our viewers today, or listeners, depending on how they're connecting, to support them?
Yes. I want to encourage everyone, however it is, however it fits for them, as Wendy even said, to carve out time for themselves, to have what I call an empowered self-care program for yourself, whatever that daily practice is, be it meditation, be it journaling, but have dedicated time when you get to actually connect with yourself. And I think, as you said earlier at the top of the show, this slowing down and connection and making a commitment to having a relationship with yourself as your first priority is really paramount in the change, in getting through the changes that we're talking about.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I'd love to, I know you have lots of projects that you are working on and bringing forward, and I wanted to just give you an opportunity to share. So for people who are resonating, wanting to connect, I want everyone to be in the know of what's coming. So would you mind sharing a little bit of some of the things you're bringing forward and working on?
I have two things that I'm working on that are so amazingly exciting that I'm bursting at the seams. The first thing is a long time project of something that I call the Self-Mastery Oracle. And it's a deck of cards to help people learn about their energy system. It includes affirmations, it includes stones, crystals. I know you're a fan, Rebecca, of my 30 years of experience as a holistic practitioner and metaphysical teacher that I've synthesized into this deck of cards, and the first of a series of journals that will, I call it the Journal into Soul series, where each chakra has its own journal and specific affirmations and intentions to journal into for each of the 7 chakras. I also am compiling another book because I'm hooked on publishing and writing, as you know. And I'm currently accepting authors for my book entitled Awakened Leaders: Empowering Stories of Self-Healing, Triumph, and Transformation, which is such a powerful title that came forward, and it's shaping up to be a very beautiful project with some very sensitive and amazing transformations that we're bringing forward for our readers.
Beautiful. Well, I'm so excited for your projects. And as every time I see something going out, I just smile. They're just amazing what you're bringing forward, the content, the information, the supportive tools, because we need things like that to help us on our journey to bring forward. And what an opportunity to have that level of experience and wisdom condensed down so we can use it in bite-sized pieces in our
I'm so
daily
excited
life.
about it. I'm going crazy. Yeah.
I love it. We are right here with you.
Sorry about that outburst, everybody.
All good, all good. And what is the best way that people could get a copy, be on the list, follow you, connect, go deeper?
Yes. So probably the easiest way to reach me at this time is my main website, arielasher.com. Let me spell that out loud. AERIOL, Asher, ASCHER. I got really greedy with vowels, apparently. Just make sure you get all my vowels in there. Vanna gave me an extra dose or something.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing and joining us. I'm excited for your projects as they come forward, and know that many people want to connect and go deeper. I'm just going to do a quick check with our tech team to see if there are any questions or comments that are coming through. Just going to give her a moment to check in. And nope, everyone's just watching. We must be answering all the questions. So that's great. I just want to make sure we're checking. I love this. We're tapping in. We're feeling this is great. So good. Thank you again for sharing, Ariel. I so appreciate it. Your energy, your passion, and all that you're bringing forward. So thank you for being part of today. And I wanted to give everyone a moment to just take a couple notes, a couple of takeaways from what Ariel has shared, and give you a moment to breathe and process and integrate. That's so important on the journey, especially when we have so much information and content coming forward. We want to make sure we're giving ourselves a moment to digest it, not just let it kind of flow in and out. So take a moment and really breathe and take that in. I'm going to have a sip of water as I take care of me. I love your cup, Ariel. Beautiful. I love that. Great. So also, as we are transitioning to our next guest, I wanted to take a moment and talk about one of the poems, because we have a poetry section I mentioned. And this was contributed by Sam Yao. And you can find more of his poetry at samyaopoetry.com. if you're interested in learning more about Sam. And here's my ask. I'm going to share a poem with you from Sam. I want you to just feel into it, hear how it impacts you. And I would love if it's touched you for you to send a message to Sam. So you can go on his website, samyowpoetry.com, send him a message, or under Sam Yow Poetry, you can find him in social media. So it's one thing for me to share how powerful I think they are, but for him to hear from more people, if it does touch your heart and spirit, that would be my ask. And it would just be really special for him to know that his poetry is continuing to touch hearts and lives. So I'm going to share one from the book. So this one is titled, Do Not Let Anyone Tell You to Live Someone Else's Life. Do not let anyone tell you to live someone else's life. You have a gift to co-create your special life with the divine. Let the spark in you shine. Live and dance like a unique spirit. Shape your inner world with qualities that bring you delight. Live inside out. The outside world will coalesce into your design. Do not let anyone tell you how to live someone else's life. Listen to your inner voice from your soul and let it guide you. Trust it. Living the authentic you will bring your freedom and joy. Claim it. Let the spark in you shine. Live and dance like a unique spirit. You are a soul incarnated in the human school to learn to love. You are a frozen light that soon will take that soaring flight. Do not let anyone tell you to live someone else's life. Already connected to the source, turn it on and drink it in. Angels are always there to help if you let your intuition align. Let the spark in you shine. Live and dance like a unique spirit. You have been knocking at the door from the inside all your life. Turn around. You are perfect and totally lovable. Live it. Do not let anyone tell you to live someone else's life. Let the spark in you shine. Live and dance like a unique spirit. I know every time I read that poem, it reminds me to shine. It touches my heart. I can feel that warmth, and I can also feel that check-in. Am I trying to live someone else's life? Am I following their definition of whatever? Or do I discover my own? Karen, something you say is your voice. Actually, I want you to say, you know what I'm talking about, right, Karen? My favorite quote that you say. So I'm going to, share your quote. I love this.
Be a voice, not an echo. Was that the one?
That's it. Exactly. Remembering. I know, but that one, that's one of my favorites that you share. And I think it's important because we are uniquely designed and made, and it's important that we share our gifts. I feel like they're here and we're made the way we are on purpose and for purpose. So that's part of how it speaks to me, is that reminder. And I think we always sometimes need to remember that we're lovable and beautiful as we are. I don't think we hear that enough or tell ourselves that enough. So those are a couple of my takeaways, but I'd love for you to write down what yours are. And if you feel led, it would be amazing for Sam to hear from you. Not me just telling him everyone loved it, but being able to have him here just would be amazing. So again, that's samyowpoetry.com. And he has a poetry section in the book as well, and his contact information is there too. Oh, and I need to tell you what page it starts on if I'm gonna follow the pattern here. So page 91 is where that section starts, if you're following along. And Ariel, I love that you brought up, cards and intuition and alignment. I did a card drawing this morning. So we have a series, and you were, I believe you were part of the series, the Women's Empowerment Expert and Influencer book, right? So I'm going to try to, so this is what it looks like on the front. And every card I pulled out, they're all different colors. So just to prove to you, I thought this was just interesting. all different colors that I can draw from. So I did a drawing, and guess what, Ariel? They were all your favorite color. They all came up this color, and it matches your shirt. So you must have felt that tied in. I love that. And the first one, let's see, I want to do these in the order that I drew them. So I thought this is interesting as I look at how our talk is flowing, that self-care is critical to unleashing your best life. Only you can decide what will fill you up to nourish your body, mind, and soul. And that was provided by Mary E. Knickle. So that was kind of the first card. And then the second card was by Diana Merritt, and it is clarity is essential. You cannot fix what you don't acknowledge. So I love how this is tying into this self-care. It's tying into this getting to know yourself and really honoring that. And then this ties into what I was just doing with Sam. That's so interesting. So this one, and it was at my card, so I contributed as well. And it says, reach out to one person today and share with them how they have inspired, encouraged, or uplifted you. So if that resonates with you, I encourage you to put that on your list as you're taking notes of the things you're being impacted by and being called to bring forward. That's a way that you can do that. So those were the messages I got this morning as we were preparing for our conversation today. And with that, I'm excited to introduce our next amazing guest, Amy L. Riley. Her chapter is titled, and I want to make sure I have it correct because it looks like I had a couple things off in the notes, The Power of Your Legacy Leadership.
The power of your leadership legacy.
Your leadership legacy. Thank you. I had it written correctly and I reversed it in my mind. So say it one more time. Say this is we're a team. One more time. See if you can help me say it correctly.
The power of your leadership legacy.
Perfect. And I have it on page 49 for those of you who are following along. And I just adore Amy as well. I know you will too, as you get to know her, if this is your first experience of her. Just an amazing leader, accomplished, expert in helping people really courageously take things to the next level in their leadership and how to do that. And you have such an exquisite way of holding space for people and then helping them step by step into that. And they can really create that legacy that matters, that alignment, and bring all they have forward. So I appreciate that about you and all that you do and bring forward. So let me just formally share a little bit more about you. So Amy L. Riley is an internationally renowned speaker, #1 best-selling author and consultant with over 2 decades of experience developing leaders at all levels. Her clients include Cisco Systems, Deloitte, and Barclays. Okay,
Barclays,
perfect. Barclays, thank you. As a trusted leadership coach and consultant, she has worked with hundreds of leaders one-to-one and thousands more as part of groups. She has a master's in science and training and development, is a certified behavioral analyst, and is passionate about helping leaders create amazing teams and achieve extraordinary results. Can you please lean in and welcome the powerful, dynamic, and courageous Amy L. Riley? Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. You really are so good at that.
I enjoy it. And I think we should all have an opportunity to introduce each other grandly and hold space, because I think sometimes we need that mirror, held up and acknowledge what we've done or who we are, the space we're holding, and let us all celebrate that, because it's a gift. So I celebrate the gift of you. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's my pleasure. And I would love to start with why. Why is your work that you have done for so many years in so many different ways around leadership, why is that personally so important to you?
Yes. I admire and respect leaders. This is how things get done in our world, right? The extraordinary results that we see around us, that is being generated through leadership. And working with individual leaders, they're managing up, they're managing out, they're taking care of their team, they're doing the due diligence, They're doing the work inside out, and they're taking care of so much. And sometimes no one knows what all is being done except for the leader, him, her, their self. And so I just want to support leaders and what we're up to, because it's the most important job we step into. And let me clarify, parenting, all of those are leadership roles.
We are all leaders.
We are all leaders.
Exactly. No, thank you for adding that. Because I think sometimes we think of this leader as something far away and separate from us, or we don't own it, but we're leaders in our life and what we're doing. So thank you. Important reminder. I love your heart and passion. And it comes from this place of such great respect and wanting to support and empower leaders. And we need people that'll come alongside us and support us as leaders and help us grow. So I love that work and your heart for it. And of all the different projects and things that I know some of them, and I know you have many on your plate. And as you're doing that, and Lenina, why did this project in particular call to you?
I'm going to piggyback on a couple of things that Ariel and Wendy said. Like Ariel, the word purpose got me. Having every leader on this planet state their leadership legacy, I call it, the purpose of their leadership, is a passion of mine. And then, like Wendy said, to have a variety of experts coming together and talking about bringing their best ideas about how do we move forward with purpose was a book I not only wanted to read, but one I would be honored to be a part of.
Beautiful. I love that. So both sides of it. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. What's been your favorite part of it so far?
Launch day. Day. I can be impatient, right? Let's get it out there. But what an energetic day, right? And to have these amazing ladies and the other authors that are highlighted in the book sharing out and seeing our networks continuing to spread the word. And then to feel proud of a project as the book became an international bestseller. And to be able to provide it at an amazing value on launch day, it just felt great all around.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And I'm glad. I'm glad that was one of your favorite moments. Beautiful. So
not the writing, like Ariel said.
Yes, different things.
No, I do like parts of that process, but
launch day was where it was at for you. Okay, beautiful. And as you think about your chapter and bringing it forward in this passion you have for leadership legacy, what is it that you hope readers gain from your chapter and learn and walk away with?
I hope that every reader will declare their leadership legacy and will start going for it. I call it going for extraordinary. And bring the full power of your leadership to the world. Bring your unique talents to the world. Nice synergy there from Sam's poem. Live your special life, right? What is your leadership purpose? Bring it.
Beautiful. And as you think about your chapters, is there a section that you feel led to share today, or a taste of anything in addition to that powerful takeaway that we build it and live it and create it?
I prepared a reading. It's actually the beginning of the chapter.
Oh, beautiful.
All successful, courageous leaders who achieve extraordinary results have something in common. In my work over the past 2 decades of coaching executives and developing leaders at all levels, I've identified one trait that powerful leaders share. They all have a defined purpose to their leadership. They are committed to something bigger than themselves. There is an intent guiding and defining their leadership. The defined purpose these courageous leaders have, I call a leadership legacy. A leadership legacy is an aspiration about how you want to be known or about what you want to create. A leadership legacy is something that you can be demonstrating, embodying, and sharing right away. It can be an initiative, set of products, or improved processes. It can also be a leadership trait for which you want to be known and foster in your organization. There's a wide range of possibilities, and you are the one to decide.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I love it.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And it looks like we have a comment from one of our viewers. So I just wanted to take a moment, especially after what you just shared. And it says, "This is so empowering." So all of you coming together, sharing, are impacting and touching. And that was shared by Kim. So Kim, thank you for sharing that beautiful comment with us. And it's an opportunity. Oh, and another one from Kara. So beautiful and powerful. So all of you are having an impact, and all of us are coming together are getting to have an impact. And so sharing those comments, I just want those who are sharing the comments too, that you're having an impact on us. So getting to know real time that we're connecting and the serving it lifts us up too. So I appreciate you taking a moment to stop in and share. And I appreciate your reading and reminding us that we have that ability. We have that ability, but it's up to us to step forward. And with that, I know that you have a number of projects and things that you are working on as well. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to share things that we can be watching for, looking for, and the best way to connect with you.
Excellent. The Courage of a Leader podcast is in the works.
Yay!
Yes. And I'm excited about this. Plan to have a guest for most episodes because I want to interview, have amazing, courageous leaders share their stories, their guidance, their lessons learned, want to provide practical advice that leaders who are listening can immediately take and apply in their own lives. So we're going to dive deep with each guest on a particular leadership topic. I'm going to start recording the episodes next month.
Okay. Oh, it's just around the corner.
The podcast will launch in February. So in the meantime, if you want to get resources, ideas from myself and the Courage of a Leader, you can go to the website, courageofaleader.com. Lots of free resources where you can apply the topics that I talk about and teach in leadership development programs on the blog. And look for the launch of the Courage of a Leader podcast in February.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations. I'm excited for you. Looking forward to that unfolding. So hopefully everyone wrote that down, coming in February, so we can watch for that. Love it. And thank you so much for joining us today, for the work you do, and for being part of this powerful project. I so appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Rebecca.
Absolutely. And I've been asking each of the experts, as you know, one of the questions. And so Karen, I'm going to ask you this question of you too, so you'll get to know Karen as well. But what it was like, what you looked forward to, why you were drawn to a project, because I think it's important that we feel in what we say yes to and what we say no to, because there's only so many hours, 24 hours, nobody gets extra hours, and we need to sleep and all those other things too in that time. So choosing what we say yes to means we're saying no to other things as we think about time and where we're placing things. So I think it's important to feel into what you're saying yes to. And if, as you're watching these beautiful leaders share, you're feeling like, well, I want to be part of something like this. I feel that pull. I want to be part of creating a collaborative book and bringing it forward. I wanted you to know some ways you can do that. So Ariel, she shared that she has one that she's leading and shared her contact information. So you can lean in and explore that. We have one that we're leading, which is Step into Your Brilliant Purpose. So we're staying with that brilliant theme for a little while. That's pulling at us. And we do still have spots open. So we are filling that probably by the end of the month. So if it is something you're interested in and you want to explore, please reach out. Happy to help. You can reach me at Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. And I'll even give you the secret link if you want to set up a time to talk. It's meetwithrebecca.com. Again, that's meetwithrebecca.com. And I'm happy to help connect you with any of our amazing experts. And I'm always happy to share about the opportunity as well to see if that's something that would serve and support and is calling you to be part of. So you want to pay attention to the seeds that are being planted and find that, lean into those things that are yeses for you. And as we transition to our next amazing guest, one of the things I love about Karen, and she's super passionate about, is helping you live now fully, really saying yes to those things that are yeses, not someday, but now. And she lives that, walks that, and is passionate about helping people do that. So let me share a little bit about Karen. And I'm just going to have you give your chapter title because I seem to not have those correct today. So I'm just going to have you, can you share your beautiful chapter title?
Yes, it's called Embrace All of You to Soar.
Beautiful. And I had underlined all in my notes, all. Embrace all of you to soar. Beautiful explanation point. And that starts on page 63 for those of you following along. And let me share a little bit about our beautiful Karen. She is a #1 best-selling author, international best-selling author, Reiki yoga master instructor, a retreat leader, radio show host, speaker, and savvy businesswoman who has built a thriving real estate business career in the midst of her journey. She is a mother of 3 adult children, an angelic daughter, and 1 grandson. So far, am I still correct on the stats? Okay. And passionate about helping you choose to shine and live fully now. Please lean in and warmly welcome the dynamic, powerful, and joyful Karen Wright to the show. Welcome. Yay.
I love that. Everyone keeps saying that. I love that.
Welcome.
In here today. Whew, it's power.
Love it. Excited to have you joining us. And why is this work of helping people live in the now? Why is that personally so important to you?
Well, let's see, 17 years ago, my daughter passed away at the age of 18, tragically. And going through the last years of my life, realizing the importance of life and how precious it really is. And it can be taken like that. And when that happens to someone you love so dearly, it opens up your life a lot to realize, you know what? Life is a gift. And what are we doing for us? What are we doing? And it took me a long time. I've been on this journey since her passing in 2004 and getting to where I'm at today. And it's been a long time. Lots of struggles, lots of ups and downs. But we can do it because you're not alone. You're not alone. So.
Thank you for sharing and that reminder. And so sorry for the loss of your daughter. But I'm grateful for all that you are and all that you're bringing to the world. All those facets that you bring. I celebrate that. And I'd love to know why this project called to you. So what about it was this is a yes for me? And then what's been your favorite part of it?
Oh, well, when this was presented to me when you presented this to me, Rebecca, I was a little leery because the title was intimidating to me. It's like experts and influencers. I'm like, I'm not an expert, but all of a sudden I remember you talking to me and you're like, Karen, yes, you are. You just wrote an international bestseller, a memoir. You just spilled out your entire life on 270 pages. People know everything about you. And you're learning and growing. And you made a comment that you said it's okay to be vulnerable. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but that struck with me because my book, Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine, is very vulnerable. It's my life. you read my book, you know everything about me. And so when you said experts and influences move forward with purpose, and that moving forward part is so valuable when you lose a loved one, when you lose anything in life, and all of a sudden you feel stuck. So that moving forward and just working with all these beautiful authors. Launch day is so much fun. And I mean, just learning and growing. And every time I'm introduced to these empowering women in my life, I'm like going, oh my gosh, I want to get to know them. It's like, I want to learn everything I can from them because, oh my gosh, we're here right now to learn. And to me, it's so important. And I just love the power and the freedom that you have with this.
Yeah.
And I've never done an anthology book before. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
I love that. And I love that willingness to be vulnerable and to share. And I think there's such a gift in that, how we can touch and impact each other when we're willing to open our hearts, takes away that shield and that block and helps us connect in the real space on those things that really matter. And so I know everyone was leaning in and sending you love and prayers as you were sharing. In fact, one of the comments, just to illustrate this to everyone, was that they're sending you hearts and prayers, praying hands to you. So just that love and that willingness to let us come together, to lean in, to support each other in all of the journey is a gift. So I celebrate that connection. I celebrate your willingness to open your heart and share, and whatever comes out that you're willing to share that with us is beautiful. And that we can be intimidated sometimes how we see leadership or how we see expert influencers, and maybe even deny that we are that, but we are. No one has walked our journey. And I love that you leaned in and you said yes and have shared so powerfully with us already, and we're just starting. So I love that. And with your chapter, what is it that you were hoping people would walk away from, kind of the takeaway as they experienced and enjoyed your chapter?
Embracing all of them, embracing all of you, loving everything about you, and coming to terms with that. Because at the end of the day, you know, it only matters what you think about yourself, not about anybody else.
Yeah.
And learning to do that can be very hard sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And is there something in your chapter that you're wanting to share? Is there a reading that was on your heart that you wanted to give people a little bit of an experience?
yeah, I would love to, because besides embracing yourself, you know, my embracing all of you to soar. So soaring and flying, that's a freedom inside of me that has happened, and it's like no longer in my cage. And I'm like, whoo, here we go. I'm this eagle flying and I'm going. So I want to read you, it's just like the last little bit of the chapter. So here we go. The past 16 years, I had been taking steps to move forward in a direction that would set me free. I felt like I needed to know my purpose, my mission. While lying on the floor during a daily meditation in Bali, an energy of light and love overtook me. I found the missing puzzle for my purpose. I found me. I could finally accept me for all of me. I realized that it was okay to own my past with all my hurt, loss, and pain I had caused to myself and life had given to me. This was my story, but it was my old story. I was alive now, living and breathing. I allowed myself to let go of all my guilt, fear, pain, and give it to God. I was able to love me for all of me, no longer casting judgment upon myself. I awoken to the knowledge that I was the only one standing in my way to fly.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for letting me.
Absolutely. Listeners, I want to give you a moment to take in what she has shared. Write down some key thoughts that are speaking to you as you just soak in the beautiful share that Karen has given us in that moment. Accepting all of herself, inviting us to accept all of ourselves.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
As we look at this accepting all of ourselves and embracing and loving all dimensions of ourselves. I know that you do, you have a special retreat series that you're doing. And one of the concepts that you weave into it is a diamond.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I just thought this might be a great moment to share a little bit about your thoughts on diamonds.
Yeah. So my retreat's called Now or Never, Diamonds Ignite. And my truth is that we are each unique diamonds or gems. And through the pressure of the earth, as the earth creates that diamond and pressure and the heat and all of it that it goes through and embraces up into the earth, breaks the ground, all of a sudden you have this diamond, but it's still kind of dirty. And so you start cleaning it off, you start rubbing the edges off, and you start exploring what is underneath all of it. And pretty soon that diamond starts to glisten, starts to ignite, starts to sparkle. And I believe each of us are diamonds, that we have that light inside of all of us, that we're here to sparkle and shine and spread our light to the world. And sometimes the past, well, it's not sometimes, the past has created that diamond and the uniqueness in all of us. And so we need to embrace that diamond and share it with others. And remember that we are authentic and raw, and that is power.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Giving us a moment to breathe that in. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I so appreciate it. I want to give you an opportunity for those who are wanting to connect, go deeper, learn more about your retreat. So if you can share some of your upcoming projects and what is the best way for people to connect in with you.
Thank you, Rebecca. I would love to share. So my next retreat is October 7th. So just round the corner, October 7th through the 10th in Park City, Utah. And we go through the Now or Never process, which is a 3-step, the nothingness, oneness, and wholeness, and coming into the wholeness of the diamond inside of each of us. And that's where the diamond comes from. But we're opening up, you can go to my website, shinenowornever.com, and click on the retreat landing page and sign up for it. Starting tomorrow, we're lessening the price a little bit so we can finish filling up some of the spots that we want to, because to me, it's not about the money coming in. It's about sharing the message and the power that is behind it. And I just am so excited for it. You can also reach me at that website. You can go to Amazon and get my book, Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine, and then listen to me every Wednesday on Voice America. Now or Never, the choice is yours. So choose to listen. And it's a live radio show every Wednesday that I love. And I've had these beautiful people on, and I'm always looking for guests. So if you want to be a guest, reach out to me. My email is karen@shinenowornever.com.
Beautiful. Thank you, Karen. I so appreciate it. I encourage everyone to lean in, and we all love a great deal. So I love that we heard it here first. Opportunity. So for those of you who are feeling that call, don't pay attention to the dates. Don't hesitate to reach out. Take advantage of that opportunity. And just to reflect back to all of us, here are just a couple more messages that we received. Kim shared, "You are touching my heart." And she was sending high fives and just thanking for the share and for everyone coming together and connecting. So thank you, all of our participants that have joined us today. Thank you for the messages and the love. We love to know the connection, the high fives, the hearts. We love it all. And I hope that each of you found some great things that you can work into your life that you can take steps in that can help you move forward on purpose, that you can take those steps of action that will bring forward those things you're called to bring forward, remembering to bring you on the journey, that grace and that kindness for yourself, being authentic, getting to know yourself on a deeper level, supporting yourself, and really look at the legacy. What are you leaving? What are you building towards? Are you moving in that direction on purpose? So take a few moments at the end of our time together just to integrate, breathe in what serves, release what is no longer up to date. You can release that and take in what is and what you want to bring forward, because we want you to have that impact you're called to have. We want you to shine on all facets, all places and planes that you have that are being created, because you matter. You are needed, and we all have that opportunity to move forward on purpose. So lean in, share the amazing gift of you, and we look forward to continuing the connection with each and every one of you. Take care, everyone. Bye.